Hi, my name is Lentz, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the, the events and people which affect me in this past year of world history. So, like everyone before me and all the speeches that I've heard, the one general person that everyone was talking about is either Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. So I use both these people because they have the same thing in common, which affected me both humanely and physically, I guess. So they so the background for them was they used peaceful actions to against the apartheid which ruled in their country of India and in Africa. So those two people used peaceful actions to get what they want, and I believe that affected me because I want to start using peaceful negotiations to get what I want instead of violence. So this this event is probably hard to talk about, but it was probably also the next couple of weeks was probably one of the great turning points in American history, I guess. So this day was Pearl Harbor, and and during Pearl Harbor, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor Bay in the port of Hawaii, and I believe that it also united the country after everyone heard and they wanted to get back at the Japanese, but it also made people join the army, and those people that joined the army also needed people to work in the factories. So both men and women gave their support, and children also helped out to unite the country and fight and win both wars that were in the Pacific and in the European fronts. So, after World War II ended and Hitler was out of power, the Berlin Wall was a point in like the 1970s, which was also during the Cold War or the start of the Cold War, which made some people or was the start of an intense period. So, the Berlin Wall was a way to stop East Berliners getting to West Berlin so that those East Berliners could have freedom and stop being under the rule of communism, basically. So the wall was set up so that no one could get in and no supplies and tools that people need to live on. So basically the Soviet Union was trying to starve those West Berliners and get them out so that the Soviet Union could rule basically all of Berlin, which I thought what they were trying to do. And in doing so, even though the Berlin Wall came down, it still led to the rise of the Cold War and those tensions that almost started World War III and nuclear annihilation. And that affected my parents, and which affected me also for later years to come. So the two ideas that I believe affect me the most are both socialism and absolutism. So socialism, after we learned it, I noticed that socialism was in my everyday life because the concept of socialism is basically sharing of everything, and what you want is also what someone else's thing is too. So you share everything in your community. And I realized that I share a lot of things with my friends and family. And absolutism, I thought, was pretty good because it meant the absolute power over everything by one person. But the downfall to this was that usually that person was obsessed with power, and in doing so, they usually start a revolution in their country. Like, for example, Louis XIV started a revolution because people didn't like him having power, and he controlled basically everything, and none of the people liked that. And so, the two documents in movies that affected me the most were Darfur on Our Watch and Hotel Rwanda. Both these were terrible things we learned. I did not like those days we learned because it talked about massacre and genocide in two different places, both in Darfur and Rwanda. And the UN was created to stop and protect the world of these terrible acts, but when we learned about Darfur and watched Hotel Rwanda, the UN didn't really do anything to protect. They just basically set it aside and watch the outcome and see these people slaughter each other. And I just thought that was terrible. The UN just did a terrible job of doing that, and that affected me a lot because I don't want people to have to go through a massacre or genocide in their community, watching people kill other people, friends kill friends, and that just affected me bad. Like, it just affected me, I think, for the better. Thank you.